but now everything is being put to the test, and it looks like once again you're being hit by a bolt from the blue that makes you go, have we not done enough already? Hi, my name's Dee and welcome to Sunchild Tarot and welcome to phase 5 of the Eclipse effect readings for Capricorn. Working on the back of the massive solar and lunar eclipse over Christmas and New Year along the Cancer and Capricorn axis. If you've seen these readings already, then you know what the plot is. If not, we are looking at how the effects of the solar eclipse, the lunar eclipse, and the Saturn and Pluto conjunction are echoing through the lives of Capricorn. These are readings that I've sat down and filmed all in a row, which is why there is such a huge pile of cards here, which you'll see at the moment. You should be able to see my shuffle video appearing here at the moment as I speak. Now, as with all general readings, roles can be reversed, time's not absolute. But with this, the reading either is for you or if it isn't. But if you've come through and watched as far as phase 5, obviously it's working for you. But what I want you to do, as you may well know, is ask a question first. Pause the video if you have to. Think about the questions that are around you, especially the more recent ones, especially the ones since Christmas and New Year, since the eclipses and the conjunction. Focus on one of them because energy in, energy out. And let me bring up the cards. I'm going to try a little bit of jiggery pokery with my camera this time because the cards that I have chosen are all, as you can see, quite dark. So if I bring this up a little, you may be able to see them better. So here's where you are, and yet again we have the tower in the middle of the reading, at the center point, at the present, where you're feeling very much the wounded warrior. We have the Nine of Wands here. That's a little blurry, so I think I'll undo that. So we have the Nine of Wands right here. So it's almost like I'm still being tested. And yes, you are, because I said in phase 4 that you were, now's the time for the test, because phases 1 through 3 were lovely. But now everything is being put to the test. And it looks like once again, you're being hit by a bolt from the blue that makes you go, have we not done enough already? And it will take strength to carry on, but you needed to move anyway. This is what I'm saying here. You're seeing here, it's like you were feeling just a little bit settled where you were. The wish fulfillment that you had in phase 4 is coming through again on phase 5. I think this is a different wish fulfillment and a more pleasant one at that. It's almost like, I didn't even know I wanted that has come through, but it's helped you realize that you're just a little bit too settled. So the old phrase, the Lord giveth, the Lord taketh away. You've had some really, really good news. It's set you up in a good stead materially. It's set you up in a good stead financially. But it's also shown where you are tired. You've had a lot of burdens. There was a 10 of Wands round here recently in one of the other readings. You've had a lot of burdens and you're not quite sure how much you can carry on with this. But the whole point of this journey is you were supposed to build what you have built. Now, part of it's getting knocked away for you to go and do what you really were supposed to do now, but you needed all those training bits on the way. Because I want you to think back to the past. There was a time when you had lots and lots of options and you just went, nah, not doing it. There's one thing I'm focusing on. There's one thing that I am sticking with. And I may be aware of everything else that's going on, but no, I'm quite chilled about those other things. There's just one thing that I want to keep my finger in. And that led you to a place of honor, a place of material contentment, because 10 of Pentacles, let's face it, that's the happy, happy family card. But here, it's somebody being awarded something as by, I assume, some form of royal, some form of nobility. But it's someone being awarded something for their faith and for their service and for their honor, but also being given a duty with it, something that you then took away to lead you in a whole new direction then, which is probably talking about leading you to that first direction that you set on straight after the eclipse with your phase 1 reading, where you felt like you was doing the same thing over and over and over again, but things move fast and you have acquired some form of unity with something that was beforehand you would have considered quite opposite to yourself. And as I say that, I think this wish fulfillment that's come in recently, do you remember back here, we finally covered up that Two of Swords where there was a jealous, bitter person going, yeah, you aren't going to be any good. You aren't going to do anything good at that. It's all going to mess up anyway. And, and they didn't want to see you succeed, not because they didn't want to see you succeed. They just didn't want to see anybody succeed doing that particular thing because it's something they had failed at. I feel that that is the person that has suddenly revealed something to you or given you something that's made you go, oh my word. Yeah, that answers so much, puts you in a good place, puts you materially in a good place, it resolves things, but it doesn't take away some of the pain of the pressure that you've been under recently with the Tower now and the Tower here, where you was busily trying to balance and nurture everything. And we've got that balance card in the future. This balancing is not ending. But I do think with all like those devil cards that were there earlier, you've got to not give up. Remember how in the phase 4 reading and the 3, it kept saying, keep the faith, keep the faith, keep the faith. There was that 666 angel number, keep the faith. Because we have for the future here, again, you are coming back into your own power, because with the final outcome card is the devil, your card. But there's a balancing act where sometimes on this Two of Pentacles, I mean, it's almost like Tarzan walking along a branch carrying 2 pentacles. And normally that can feel quite triumphant. But here I'm feeling a nervousness of, don't want to drop these, don't want to drop these. If I drop these, that's everything gone. And that nervousness is not echoed in the how you're feeling right now. Because even though you're in that wounded warrior state and the Tower, with the how you're feeling right now, we've got the 7 of Pentacles. So it's, I'm doing this again. When is this harvest going to come around? When am I going to get to take my share of what I've been creating? But you are aware that that harvest that you have been tending and that you have been growing and that you have been working on is building. It is going to come around. There's people around you who are going to make sure that you get your just desserts. And I think that's a really good thing. I say it like that, but I think that is a really, really good thing. But I think you've been worried that there's just been, more conflict, more hassle. I can't really deal with any more secrets. I can't really deal with any more isolation. But you haven't been that isolated, remember, because in the phase 3 and 4 readings and in the oracle cards, there was that community. There was multiple 3 of cups, not as in third party, but as in friends who are working around you. Now, for the final outcome card, we've got the 7 of cups. So your options remain open, and you're going to have to be quite crafty as to which of your options you are pursuing. And also, you need to make sure that you're not leaving yourself on unsure footing. We've got the 2 of Swords, which again has been a repeated motif throughout the readings. Again, with that, there was that bitter person, but this is not from the bitter person. This is from the fact that things are coming along to test what it is you have built, not to destroy it, to test it. Because we're coming towards the end of these eclipse energies now. As I say, we're on phase 5. I do one more reading, and that should cover right to the end of the eclipse energies. And then they've either integrated into your life or destroyed you, one or the other, or not bothered you in the slightest. That's the other option, but I doubt you'll be watching phase 5 if they've not bothered you in the slightest. Where you're headed, things are going to be moving quite fast soon. We've got the Chariot going to the 8 of Wands. We've got the 6 of Wands with victory. So whatever this challenge is that you've got at the minute, you can beat it. You can beat it. Whether you want to beat it is another matter. You want to win, but be aware of you don't need to leave any destruction in your wake, because that will be revisited back upon you if you do. What you can do is draw your boundaries up. So again, that Capricorn energy from the eclipse this time, not from your own sign, but also from that Saturn and Pluto. Draw that boundary up and saying, right, that is where this ends. You are not touching this anymore. But if you go beyond that point, then justice can come and bite you in return. So let's pull. Okay, that was not the Oracle deck I meant to pull, but the Numerology Oracle. Let's see what we've got here. Okay, that wants to come out. And completion. What it is that you have been building is coming to completion. So this is why it's being tested, because if you think it's not even the snagging process in building a building, the snagging should be done now. You're actually testing it to make sure that everything works. Just compassion. And again, 9s. The whole point of this has been you going through a rebirth, a 6-month-long rebirth, but a rebirth. So to sound like Herman Cain, 999. There's completion and compassion. So where I was saying about drawing that boundary and beating whatever it is, you have a victory over whatever it is. There's no need to beat it. There's no need to destroy it. There's no need to damage anything. You just hold that boundary nicely. Because you're on the bottom of the deck, your effort will be rewarded. Effort with being number 13, you are the center of this circle that you have built, which is what 13 represents. The 12 houses of the zodiac, the 12 disciples. The number 13 is Jesus stood in the middle, or the number 13 is the planet Earth in the middle of the zodiac, or the center of the clock hands, which you can see is the mechanism that operates the universe. So this is going well. You can withstand this test. It is a test. It's not out to destroy you. It is out to mark your work for a certain extent, but do not overreact, because the overreaction and a lashing out, which I see with this Devil card, even though, yeah, you've come into your power. We already know that. We knew that last reading or the reading before. You've come into your power, but the best use of power is knowing when not to use it. You know, that's why nuclear deterrent is a deterrent, and we're not constantly having a nuclear war every 2 weeks. So if this means anything to you, Capricorn, comment down below, press subscribe. If you've come this far, you've probably subscribed already, but every little helps the channel. So a like won't go amiss either. Do, as I've said on all of these readings, keep in tune with your lunar readings, waxing and waning especially, but new moon and full moon will be quite interesting. Full moon, certainly for whichever full moon reading, the one that I released just before this video is released and the one that I released just after, which I've got no idea where they are because they're months away from recording them. but I think they're going to be really interesting, especially the one just before, since we've just had the Tower appear in phase 4 and now here in phase 5. So in the meantime, see you next reading. Cheers.